your science notebook, if you'll open to the table of contents, write the fertilizer we use, 96 to 97. And if you turn to page 96, you'll glue this down on page 96. And then you'll glue this down on page 97. Continue to watch the video to answer the questions on page 96 and 97. We are going to do a lab today to see how chemicals and things get into our drinking water. So, we all need food to eat. Where does that food come from? Some food comes from like cows and pigs and things like that, but other food comes from farms because fruits and vegetables are grown on farms. Well, farmers usually use fertilizer to make their fruits and vegetables, their crops grow faster, bigger, more beautiful. They also use pesticides to keep bugs off of their crops so that they have a better crop. And then when their crop is ready and they harvest it, they have to get it to us, the consumer. If they're a small farm, they might do that like at a farmer's market or something like that. But if they're a larger farm, they have to put their crop that they harvested onto a truck or a boat. And those trucks and boats have to ship the crops to us or to the grocery store so that we can get them. So we're going to look at how the things that we're doing to these crops can get in our drinking water. I have a cup and we are going to fill it with 100 milliliters of water. I already measured out the water earlier. So that's 100 milliliters of water right there. I'm going to take a paper towel, put it over the cup, and it's got to have, I should put it this way actually maybe. Nope. It's going to go over the cup, but it's going to be loosely over the cup. We're not going to put it tightly over the cup. We do want it to be able to sag a little bit in the middle. Make sure you have drawn and labeled this picture on your notebook page. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to take some dishwashing soap, Dawn dishwashing soap, and I'm going to pour it onto the soil. Remember, the soil is the paper towel, so I'm just going to pour some dishwashing soap on our paper towel. This dishwashing soap represents the fertilizer that we use to grow our food. When we want our food grown, we want it grown fast and nice and big and ripe, we put fertilizer on it. It helps it grow. And the paper towel is our soil, and then our drinking water is down here. Now I'm going to pour some vegetable oil onto the paper towel. The vegetable oil is going to represent the oil that might leak from the tractors that are harvesting the food, or the trucks that are transporting the food, or even the boats that might be transporting the food. And then we're going to pour some pepper on top of our paper towel. Here's my pepper. I'm going to pour the pepper on top of the paper towel, and this represents the air pollution that's caused by the trucks and tractors from their exhaust. Pour some pepper on here. All right, there we go. Now you should be observing some things happening. I'm hoping that you can see it clearly, but you should be able to see that little drops of oil and the vegetable oil and the dishwashing soap, that was the pesticides or the fertilizer used for the crops, and the oil that leaks maybe from tractors and trucks and things. Those things are slowly leaking through the soil and getting into the groundwater. The pepper, however, is floating on the top. So you need to now draw and label on you need to draw and label on your notebook page your observations of the paper towel and the cup. Now that the scenario is complete, make sure you label to show what has changed. You also need to answer the questions on the next page. What happened to the water which represented the groundwater? Well, it starts to get dirty and cloudy. The oil and the fertilizer start to leak into the groundwater. What happens to the paper towel, which represents the soil? The soil or the paper towel gets very dirty. I'm actually going to see if I can move this, if you can see the paper towel better. Even though I poured the oil here, the oil has spread or been absorbed to other parts of the paper towel. It hasn't just stayed in that one spot. And then finally, list and describe 4 things that farmers could do in this scenario in order to reduce the amount of chemicals, oil, and pollution that harm our drinking water, soil, and air we breathe. So do a little bit of research and think about ways that farmers could still grow their crops, still get us the nutritious food that we love, but not be so harmful to our drinking water and our air. And I will give you close-up, hopefully without spilling any of this lovely drinking water now. You can still see the oil and pesticides dripping down from above. Notice the pepper, which was the exhaust, it is in the air because it's in our soil, but it does not get into our drinking water. Make sure you answer all of your questions on both your notebook pages.